What if a simple act of kindness could change everything? Meet LaToya Johnson, a waitress in a run-down diner, whose selfless gesture to a vulnerable boy sets off a chain of events that could lead to a fortune. But at what cost? From a humble booth to the heights of corporate power. Her story unfolds in a world of secret betrayals, fierce loyalty, and the struggle to stay true to her roots. Could the warmth of one heart really reshape an entire city? Keep watching to discover how kindness can be the most powerful weapon in the fight for a better tomorrow. The Haven Street Diner was a relic. Its checkered floors worn smooth by decades, of hurried feet, its booths patched with duct tape, yet it pulsed with life. LaToya Johnson, 28, moved through it like a conductor, her smile a melody that soothed the chaos of clinking plates and overlapping voices. Her dark skin glowed under the diner's warm lights, her braided hair tucked neatly under a faded baseball cap. She was the kind of person who made you feel seen, whether you were a regular or a stranger nursing a coffee at 2 a.m. LaToya didn't just serve food. She served hope, slipping extra fries to a broke college kid or sneaking a slice of pie to a weary mother. Her tips rarely stayed in her pocket. She'd press them into the hands of someone who needed them more. Her own fridge often empty as a result. That rainy November evening, the diner was quieter than usual, the storm keeping most customers away. LaToya wiped down the counter, humming a gospel tune her mama used to sing, when she noticed a shadow outside the window. A boy, no older than 8, sat in a wheelchair under the diner's awning, his thin frame hunched against the wind. His dark skin was slick with rain, his eyes wide with something between fear and resignation. LaToya's heart lurched. No coat, no umbrella, no one with him. She didn't think twice. "Hey, sugar, you okay out there?" she called, pushing. Open the diner's door. The boy, Jaden, she'd later learn, looked up, his lips trembling. "Come on in. Let's get you warm." She wheeled him inside, ignoring the curious stares from the few patrons. She settled him at a corner booth, draped a clean dish towel over his shoulders, and slid a steaming grilled cheese sandwich and a bowl of tomato soup in front of him. "Eat up, sweetheart. No charge." Across the street, Darius Coleman stood in the rain, his tailored wool coat doing little to shield the chill in his bones. At 42, he was a titan in Chicago's tech world, the CEO of Coleman Technologies, a man whose name opened doors and silenced rooms. His dark eyes, sharp and calculating, watched LaToya through the diner's fogged-up window. His son, Jaden, born with a rare neuromuscular disorder that confined him to a wheelchair, was his world. Darius had stepped away for a moment to take an urgent call, only to return and find Jaden alone, vulnerable. He'd expected to rush in, to shield his boy. But then he saw LaToya. Her kindness wasn't performative. It was raw, instinctive, the kind of goodness Darius had long stopped believing in. He stayed in the shadows, watching, his heart twisting with something he couldn't name. LaToya sat with Jaden, coaxing a shy smile from him as he nibbled his sandwich. "You got someone coming for you, honey?" she asked gently. Jaden nodded, pointing vaguely across the street. LaToya followed his gaze but saw only rain and darkness. She didn't press. Instead, she told him stories. Silly ones about her cat, Whiskers, who once stole a whole chicken leg from her plate. Jaden giggled, his guard dropping. LaToya didn't know it, but she was being watched, her every move etching itself into Darius's mind. The next morning, LaToya was in her tiny apartment, a 5th-floor walk-up with peeling paint and a leaky faucet. She counted her tips, $23.47, barely enough for groceries. A knock at the door startled her. She opened it to find Darius Coleman, his presence filling the cramped hallway. His tailored suit and polished shoes looked out of place against the chipped doorframe, but his eyes held no arrogance, only intensity. "LaToya, Johnson." His voice was deep, measured. "I'm Darius Coleman. You helped my son, Jaden, last night." LaToya's brow furrowed. "Jaden's your boy? Is he okay?" "He's fine, thanks to you." Darius stepped inside, uninvited, but not unwelcome. "I saw what you did. Not just the food, the way you treated him. Like he was your own." His voice softened, almost breaking. "I want you to work for me." LaToya blinked, confused. "Work for you?" "Sir, I'm a waitress. I don't know. Nothing about tech. I don't need tech. I need heart." Darius's gaze was unwavering. "Coleman Technologies could use someone like you. $150,000 a year. Benefits. Full support to learn the ropes. One condition. You never lose that kindness." LaToya laughed, thinking it was a joke, but Darius's expression didn't waver. Doubt gnawed at her. She'd barely graduated high school, scraping by on grit and goodwill. But the money could change everything. Pay off her mama's medical bills. Keep her from choosing between rent and food. She thought of Jaden's shy smile. "Okay," she said finally. "I'll try." At Coleman Technologies, LaToya stepped into a world of glass walls and whispered power plays. Her role, vaguely titled Community Liaison, was a mystery to her colleagues, most of whom were Black professionals with MBAs and years of experience. They saw her as an outsider, a charity case. Whispers followed her in the break room. Who is she? Why's she here? LaToya felt the weight of their skepticism but kept her head high, her smile warm. She learned fast, soaking up Darius's mentorship, asking questions, staying late to understand the company's mission, tech solutions for underserved communities. Darius, meanwhile, was navigating his own battles. Coleman Technologies was on the cusp of launching a revolutionary app to connect low-income families with healthcare resources, but internal tensions were high. Someone was leaking project details to competitors, threatening the launch. Darius trusted LaToya implicitly, assigning her to liaise with community partners, believing her authenticity would resonate where polished pitches failed. A month into her role, LaToya was finding her footing, her natural warmth winning over some colleagues. But trouble came swiftly. During a lunch break, she visited the diner, chatting with Lucas, a regular she'd known for years. Lucas, a Black entrepreneur with a quick laugh and a knack for tech gossip, asked about her new job. LaToya, trusting as ever, mentioned a community event Coleman Technologies was planning. The next day, details of the event appeared online, attributed to an anonymous source. Fingers pointed at LaToya. The accusation came from Tyrone Brooks, a senior executive and one of Darius's longest-serving advisors. Tyrone, a tall man with a commanding presence and a chip on his shoulder, had been skeptical of LaToya from day one. "She's in over her head," he told Darius in a heated boardroom meeting, his voice dripping with disdain. "She's leaking secrets to her diner buddies. We can't afford this." LaToya was devastated. She stood before Darius and the leadership team, her hands trembling. "I swear, Mr. Coleman, I didn't leak anything. Lucas is just a friend. I'd never betray you or Jaden." Her voice cracked, but her eyes were steady. Darius believed her, but the board demanded proof. LaToya, determined to clear her name, suggested they trace the leak's digital footprint. Darius paired her with the IT team, and together they dug into email logs and server activity. Late one night, LaToya noticed an anomaly. Encrypted emails sent from Tyrone's account to an external server, timed suspiciously close to each leak. She hesitated. Tyrone was a titan in the company, a man who'd mentored countless black professionals. But the evidence was clear. Confronted in Darius's office, Tyrone's composure cracked. "You're trusting a waitress over me?" He spat. But the data didn't lie. Tyrone had been selling secrets to a rival to fund a side venture, framing LaToya to cover his tracks. His betrayal stung, not just of Darius, but of the community they served. Darius fired him on the spot, his voice cold but resolute. "You're done here." LaToya's name was cleared, and the company rallied around her. The experience hardened her resolve, teaching her to navigate the corporate world without losing her core. Darius, watching her resilience, felt his respect deepen into something more. A quiet admiration that bordered on love, though he kept it unspoken. Years passed, and LaToya thrived. By Jaden's high school graduation in 2033, she was vice president of community outreach at Coleman Technologies, her vision shaping initiatives that brought tech access to Chicago's poorest neighborhoods. The graduation was a milestone. Jaden, now 16, rolled across the stage to accept his diploma, his smile radiant despite the challenges of his condition. LaToya and Darius sat side by side, their pride in Jaden a bond that needed no words. LaToya never forgot her roots. With Darius's support, she launched the Jaden Coleman Foundation, a nonprofit that provided meals to children across Chicago's South Side. At the foundation's first gala, LaToya stood before a crowd of donors, her voice steady but emotional. "Kindness ain't just a moment. It's a choice you make every day. I learned that at a diner, and I'm living it for Jaden, for all our kids." The crowd erupted in applause, but LaToya's eyes found Darius's. He nodded, his expression soft. Across the room, Jaden beamed, his wheelchair a symbol not of limitation, but of triumph. The foundation grew, feeding thousands, its impact rippling through the city. LaToya's story, once a waitress who gave her last dollar to a stranger, became a legend, proof that selflessness could rewrite destinies. Back at Haven Street Diner, LaToya visited on a quiet evening, slipping into her old booth. The new waitress, a young black woman with a shy smile, brought her coffee. LaToya left a $100 tip, tucking a note inside. "Keep being kind. It'll take you places you can't imagine." Outside, the rain fell softly, and LaToya smiled, knowing she'd built a legacy that would outlast her, one grilled cheese sandwich at a time.